the human heart. Okay, so before starting, I would just like to state that this side of the heart is the right side, because if we change our perspective, this would be the right side of our heart. Anyways, this right side has the incoming blood. This incoming blood is the deoxygenated blood coming from our body. Then this deoxygenated blood will be pumped to our lungs to get rid of the carbon dioxide. The left side of our heart has outgoing blood, meaning it pumps oxygenated blood that it gets from the lungs and sends it to our body. So to separate the left side from the right side, which do not really work together, there's this muscle called septum. Okay, to start with the right side, the deoxygenated blood comes from the inferior vena cava, which carries the deoxygenated blood from the lower part of the body, and the superior vena cava carries deoxygenated blood from the upper half of our body. This deoxygenated blood comes from our body to our heart. So then, through that, the blood goes through 2 of our 4 chambers. It goes through the right atrium, so the blood comes here, and it comes here. So basically, the right atrium is all of this. It goes through the right atrium in a process called diastole. Diastole is when the atrium is filled with blood. Then it goes through the tricuspid valve, which is right here. So this valve prevents blood flow when it goes through the right ventricle. So when the blood passes from the right ventricle, it goes through the tricuspid valve, and it goes to the right ventricle. The right ventricle is everything here. Then this right ventricle, it contracts, it opens, and it closes. When it opens and it closes, it takes the deoxygenated blood and takes it to this tube called the pulmonary artery. So, this is called systole. The next valve also prevents backflow. This valve right here. Then as blood goes through the pulmonary artery, the deoxygenated blood goes through this artery and also this artery. This artery is linked to the lungs, and this one is also linked to the lungs. These lungs take out the carbon dioxide and put oxygen into the cells, the blood cells that are going through it. Also, for your information, the pulmonary artery is the only artery in the body that has deoxygenated blood. So nextly, let's talk about the left side of our heart. The oxygenated blood from the lungs comes in by the largest vein in our body called the pulmonary vein. The oxygenated blood then goes to the left atrium in a process called diastole. This is all the left atrium. So in diastole, it's when the atrium is filled with blood. So till now, this is the process of oxygenated blood. It comes from the lungs to the pulmonary vein to the left atrium. After the left atrium, it goes through this valve called the mitral valve. This valve also prevents blood backflow. After it goes to the mitral valve, it goes to this ventricle, which is called the left ventricle. After the left ventricle, blood flows through this tube. Then the blood goes through this pathway into the aorta. The aorta, with intense pressure, pumps the oxygenated blood to all of the body. This is why there is such a thing called blood pressure. It is due to the pressure of the aorta. So in simplest form, this is the blood flow in the heart.